that the same?
We're the same height now, Steve. Not that we were very different in reality.
You're taller than me.
Yes, I am taller than you, Steve, but not in an amount that matters. Like
Everything counts in small amounts. That's what I learned from.
well, don't take us down that line of thinking, Steve. All right, are we ready to ask the clickbaity premise of
I'm
the
ready
episode?
for you to say, hi, I'm Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steven. This is 60 Seconds on the Guitar Buying Center. Oh, yes.
Perfect in every way, Steve. You nailed it.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
Just this week, Music Radar released a list, or poll, asking people to vote on who they think is 2022's best guitar personality.
Wow. What an honor. I can't wait to accept the award, Steve.
You weren't on the list.
What do you Mira wasn't on the list because they already decided?
You know what list you could be on?
What list could I be on, Steve?
2022's worst guitar personality.
What? And that's the premise of what we're going to talk about here today on the podcast. Who are the top worst personalities in the guitar universe? I didn't want to say Guitar World because that's a magazine. The
Yeah,
guitar
we don't want to get sued.
galaxy, a galaxy of guitar personalities. Who are the worst? Are we confident we have 5, Steve?
I believe we actually have 6.
Well, let's say the top 5, and maybe there'll be a bonus in there. How about that?
That's mine.
I'm adjusting the headphone mix. Sorry, Steve. I made myself too loud, and
All
Steve
right.
got angry. Did you see him get angry?
Maybe I'm the worst.
All right. What do you think is the number 1 off our list, Steve?
I think the number 1.
They're not in actual order.
So the number 1 on, well, to me, the one that's number 1 is.
I feel like the one that we come up with first is like our number 1.
Yeah, is the one.
So should we go backwards?
I don't know.
I think we should go backwards from the
Let's
bottom.
go backwards.
Okay.
Well, no, I don't want to do this. We can do this. This one's honorable mention.
Okay.
We'll do that one
There,
last.
there.
The one before that, though, is, X already did this.
Oh yeah,
Like,
See, you guys were expecting us to cover like we wanted us to say like Stevie T or something like that. No, we're talking about the personalities of people who comment on guitar stuff on the internet, whether it be on our videos or be on groups.
An interesting pair of omissions from the Music Radar thing are Stevie T and Jared Dines are
There's
not
a lot of
there.
people that were not on that list.
I'm just saying.
A lot of people that were not on that list. We're in good company of people not on the
Yeah.
list. I'm not bitter. I'm literally not.
We're in good company with guys like Stevie T
Yeah.
and Jared Dines.
Where we belong.
Is Davey 504? I mean, I would say that he's a guitar personality, bass guitar.
He's a slap personality, let's be honest. Okay, so people who say that someone else already did this, we were getting a rash of these. It kind of cleared up because I was clapping back at people. A rash of people like, oh, Trogley already filmed that. Trogley already covered that.
Right.
Trogley already did this. Trogley already did that. Ola already did this. Ola already did that. Colin did this.
We got the Ola one a lot. I think when you did the Metal Zone one, right?
Right,
that
sure.
was one Metal Zone through the effects loop, or HM2 through the effects loop, or whatever. Why would anyone watch this video when Ola already did it better?
Phil already talked about this.
Yeah.
Beato already talked about that. Like, you guys don't understand. There's only like 3 things in guitar.
Could you like it's the thing that's interesting to me.
There's not a whole lot of depth to this thing that we're all obsessed with. We're all going to kind of walk all over each other.
Yeah, and everyone's going to have like a little bit of a different take on it, right? You know,
I've just flat out agree with everything that other people say.
If you're a of an older late night personality, or maybe you're not even an older late night, like I'm saying, like if you're the kind of person who watches late night shows,
Yes, okay.
right?
Now I'm tracking.
If you're watching, Fallon at 11 o'clock or whatever, and then you're gonna watch Seth Meyers immediately afterwards, like,
Yes,
because
of
you
course.
like those people. No one's sitting around going like, oh, Seth Meyers talking about Donald Trump's announcement. Fallon already told jokes about this. Like, of course they did. That's what they
Right.
talk about.
Like you watch an hour of news, half on one channel, half on the other. Oh, they're talking about the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's there's not much else to talk about, unfortunately.
And I think there's ways here. Here's what I want to do for some.
And also, talking about Trogley has covered every single damn guitar ever made. So what are we left to do? The Simpsons did it first. I get it.
Some of these you can't improve. Like, the way that you improve yourself is to stop. This is one where I think if you phrase and say like, hey, this is a really cool idea. And say like, when Trogley talked about it, here's something that he said, like that. So you're bringing something to be like, oh, Trogley already talked about it. How about you say like, oh, well, one of the things Trogley mentioned is this, 1996 Gibson whatever happens to have a non-book matched mahogany back or whatever. Is that
I want to add.
They didn't use
Right.
quarter sawn maple. You left that fact out.
I want to add an article B to this item of the list.
B for bitch.
People. What the hell, Steve?
I don't know. I don't know what you're going to say.
Are you going to ask me to edit that out later?
No.
People who, whenever like we encounter like a broken amp or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you should send it to Brad. Send it to Brad. Send that to Brad, or send it to X, guitar YouTuber that fixes things.
Send it to Fazio.
So,
send
yeah.
it, send it to whoever.
Guys, we're not the person to message about that. Message Brad about that. Message Fazio about that. Because they're the ones who have to decide whether or not they want to make that content.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if I just go to them, they're going to charge me a fee. And if I cared about it that much, I would just hire a local repair person.
Take it to Top Gear.
And take it to Top Gear.
We take it to Top Gear.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask for another channel to, one, repair something for you, two, film and document the process.
Yeah.
And it's suggest it to the person who is in control of that interaction. It's not us.
That actually goes for a lot of things. We get a lot of comments.
Cover this
about,
product.
Can you cover this product? And
this isn't really a complaint because I appreciate the sentiment.
The suggestion. But one thing that you can do to help is reach out to those brands and say, hey, I really think, Ryan could do a really cool demo for your product.
I really want to see this. It doesn't have to be me. Any channel
or whoever,
I'd really like to see this channel cover your product. Mm-hmm. You might get your favorite YouTuber, whoever it happens to be, on a list with that company, and they might form a lifelong relationship or something like that, where they just, they work together. Like, that would be a beautiful connection and an excellent way for fans to interact with the channel. Commenting to the creator is one thing, but commenting to the brands, that's a lot more powerful. Just if you really want to help.
Ryan?
Yes.
This is the 5th video I've seen on this new Walrus product today. Is there some kind of product launch? Have you sold out, Ryan? Are you a shill?
We're going to need more than 5, aren't we?
Are you a shill? Actually, I know. I threw Walrus under the bus there, but they've cut back on it pretty big. But they were public enemy #1 for this for a minute.
But I'm surprised I didn't think of this. The people who complain about launch days, are you stupid? Like, legitimately,
you did this to yourself.
Legitimately, are you stupid? You can't. And those of you who are like, guys, doesn't it look to you? Has anyone noticed this? Doesn't it look to you like maybe that these people are getting paid and isn't it weird how they all launch in the same? Are you stupid?
Jeez.
It's so we tell you that here it is. It's launch day. We're launching. You ask any one of us, we'll tell you whether we say it outright or not. Like, yeah, it's a launch day.
Yeah.
We launch product at the same day, and like, oh, it's because of what is the word that's used for it? Embargo. Oh, they have to wait till embargo. We don't have to. We want to. We want to.
I mean, you have to if you don't want to get blacklisted by every.
It would be incredibly bad for the line of work that we're in if we broke embargo. Yeah. But we don't. I've never signed anything.
I will also say, even at the beginning of this video,
I've never signed an NDA in this industry.
Even at the beginning of this video, there is a rectangle, probably was right here, that says this video contains paid promotion.
Oh yeah, that was in the first like 20 seconds of the video or whatever.
Yeah, or it's either like over here or down here, I think. And in reality, actually, I would say that this show, when we get to the ads, we say, hey, let's talk about our sponsors. We probably could take that off, but we just leave it on there anyway. So I'm imagining the headspace, and it doesn't really happen for the podcast as much as with the demos, even though with the demos, to me, it's still very obvious, where I'm waiting for someone to come in and go, oh, these guys said nice things about their sponsors. Are they getting paid by their sponsors?
And also, like, the people who are like in the comment sections for when there's these big launches and everyone complains, oh, you can tell us off a script because they all say the same things. That's because there's only so many things you can say about the same product. It's the same product. What are we going to say, that it's a different color than it is? It's the color that it is. It's the color that it is. It does the thing. It has the 3 knobs. Like, what else are we supposed to say about it?
I was thinking more.
There's no script. There's just only 4 things to talk about.
I was thinking more from the guitar side, right? So on the guitar side where it's like, oh, everyone said the same thing. It's like, well, yeah, it's a Strat. They all have, it's got 3 pickups and knobs.
It can't be a coincidence. It's a conspiracy. None of this stuff is important enough for there to be a conspiracy. None of this is important enough.
Spec list. No, it's a conspiracy. It's big music. We are actively employed by big music. We're trying to hold down all those small brands.
Oh my gosh, you people. I'm venting right now. This is
I didn't think this was going to go this way.
This is therapeutic for me.
Okay, I haven't seen this
So
one.
you came up that one we didn't even have it on the list.
What? No, that's all. This is my job.
Oh, that's under this is my job.
This is all under this is my job.
Right.
This is what I do.
I'm gonna have to put captions so people know where on the list we are, or it's just a rambling bitch fest about the thing that the commenters that flabbergast us. They just flabbergast us. The internet personalities that flabbergast us.
And no, we don't think our viewers as a whole are idiots.
Absolutely not. Some of you are brilliant.
Just the people who say things like this.
And I hope the stupid people keep watching. What else are you gonna do?
I'll keep watching. We get this comment.
I'm not smart either, but I know when I see one of my own kind out in the wild.
We get this comment every once in a while. Not too often, maybe because you don't do as many guitar demos lately.
I've been doing enough guitar demos. Steve.
All of your guitar demos would be a lot better if you weighed the guitar. Can you buy a fishing scale to weigh all the guitars?
I've thought about doing a video where I do get a fishing scale, and the only thing I do in the video is just weigh the guitars, and it's just a running tally of what all my guitars weigh, and no other information, just to make those people happy.
So after just after the 4th guitar, it's nonsense because you're just adding them all. So the first guitar is like 9.4 ounces, and then the second one is so it's like if you're paying attention. So it just says total guitar weight. So if you're watching the video, you can like see how much each guitar weighs.
I hadn't even thought that direction, Steve, and it's blowing my mind finding out what all my guitars weigh as a single unit.
So this is how it would work: is you'd have
this is brilliant.
You have to have the camera like
you're full of good ideas tonight, Steve.
You have to have the camera pointing at the scale, right?
Yeah.
So when you put the guitar on there, so like the first guitar you'd put it on there, it'd say 9.6, and then there's like a tally that says 9.6. And it says like, and so people like the logical thing to do would be like have a running list, kind of like how we do the end credits, right?
Right.
So it'd be like, Fender player Strat, 9.6, and then the next one would be like whatever that Les Paul model is, 9.2. But instead, it would just be a list. So if people pause the video, they can look at the screen and be like, okay, that's what that one weighs, and they can do it on their own. But then it would just be like 9.6, and then it would change to 18.8.
Here's the thing.
It would change to like 29 point. It just keep going up, and then eventually at the end, you'd be like, well, that wraps it up, folks. I own 143 pounds of guitar.
I bet I own more than that.
Probably do own more than that.
We'll challenge everyone at home to weigh how many pounds of guitar they own.
Well, if you own 20, how many guitars do you own?
No. We have to leave some mystery, Steve. Here's the thing, and I've lost it. Where did it go? It's in my head.
I don't know. We're talking about weighing guitars.
Here's the thing that
why are you guys shaming these guitars?
Here's the thing that annoys me about the how much does it weigh questions, because it's people who are like, oh, is it going to hurt my back? Oh, I like a light guitar. Like, oh, is it heavy enough to sustain? Like, what is the exact weight? If you go onto Sweetwater and look at the guitar gallery for the individual model that you're shopping for, you can look and see that there is variance on all of them. And that's only the selection of what they have up on the site. You can get random guitars from the same model, same finish, same build, same everything, that vary wildly.
Yeah. So
just because I get a guitar and I weigh it doesn't mean that's the weight of the guitar that you might get. It might be, it's closer than if I was comparing the guitar to a non-guitar shaped object, a non-guitar object. But I don't weigh every single guitar. I don't make it a feature of the show because it wouldn't be consistent for the purchaser.
Here's a
like it just like, oh, I might get a 9-pound guitar, you might get a 7.5-pound guitar. Who knows?
Here's a legitimate question I have. Besides, I imagine Trogley does it.
Unless you're buying something made out of carbon fiber or composite or something like that, it's not gonna. If it's made out of wood, it's not gonna be the same weight as the one that came off the line next to it.
Are there any channels where one of the features of a guitar demo or guitar review discussion, whatever, is to weigh the guitar? Like, I don't know. Is it?
I've done it a couple times. I've done it a couple times just to humor people, and also just like, if I notice that something is a feature, I'm like, wow, this guitar is very light, or this guitar is very heavy, I'm going to probably try to demonstrate that. But like, if I'm playing a Strat and it feels normal weight to me, I'm like, why would I mention it? Why do I need to tell you how many ounces it is? Okay, do you have more points for that?
No.
All right, this is number 2 next.
Number 2.
The Hard Times just wrote an article about this. And it's a brilliant article, and I hope everyone uses it to copy and paste onto anyone who does this sort of thing. Whenever there's a female player, a lady player, in a video, in photos, or whatever on the internet, the commenter who says, wow, talented and beautiful. Like, that mentality as a whole, keep the other part to yourself.
The talented part?
Yeah, just say you're beautiful. Those are the comments.
Awful.
Those are the comments that I want to receive. So
the way you said it sounded so gross.
That's how it's read by the people you're commenting at. Oh, you're beautiful. They don't. You probably think when you're making that comment, talented and beautiful, you probably think you're coming across as slick. Oh, talented and beautiful. Oh, I wonder if she walks alone at night. Like, that's how you're coming across.
Did you ever watch Letterkenny?
Yeah, I've watched Letterkenny.
You sound like McMurray. We're down the Dominican. I'm down the beautiful. Tell you what,
it's pretty much what's his name, Boomhauer from
Boomhauer, yeah,
Boomhauer from King of the Hill.
It's just a.
Don't say. Keep it to yourself.
If
there's someone standing around you in person, look at them and make a quick judgment call. Like, how would that person react to me saying, "Hey, she's talented and beautiful"? Would they be like, oh yeah, you're right. Well, that's probably the last interaction you could have. The other interaction that you could get is them being like, all right. Because that's how everyone on the internet is reacting. Like, okay.
There's a interesting, I think it's an interesting angle to this that it's, and I got this from Emily from Get Offset, who you should actually vote for Music Radar Guitar.
Stack the votes for our friends.
And if you don't vote for her, you should vote for Jason and Tia. And if you don't vote for them, you should vote for, well, I think you should vote for Andy, but Ryan doesn't think you should vote for Andy. They're fighting.
I think I think Andy and are still on truce.
Oh, are you?
Unofficially.
But one of the things that gets
we're waiting for NATO to weigh in on the situation.
Oh my gosh. One of the things that gets thrown out there is, if she didn't want these comments, she wouldn't have worn a tank top in this video, which is kind of one step away from like, well, if she didn't want it, she wouldn't be wearing a skirt. But the other thing about it is a tank top, especially if you live, say, in Southern California in the summer, is just a clothing choice.
Steve, it doesn't matter. I don't care if she's dressed in lingerie. Your comments are still gross.
Oh, I mean, but it's like, it's the whole thing about like, well, is this video supposed to be, it's the question of like, is this video supposed to be sexy or not? And a lot of the times I think things that people interpret as like, oh, wow, this is a really sexy video is because somebody is wearing the exact same thing that they would have worn to like mow the yard.
Sure. But I think we can both agree. I think we can all agree. We're adults here. There are absolutely sources of guitar content that are absolutely very intentionally working the sexy angle.
Right.
They are, this is well documented by many of your browser's histories. They are working the sexy angle.
Look, Ryan, are you trying to shame me for subscribing to onlyfans.com/moo guitars? It's a woman who wears various moo-moos while playing guitar. It's the only OnlyFans I subscribe to.
Does she have curlers in her hair?
Only if you pay extra.
Hot. That's like an old person stereotype that doesn't exist anymore. That's not what old people are like anymore. I don't care if you're watching guitar content that is obviously doing the sexy thing. You're watching Pete Thorne. And you're watching it exclusively for sexy reasons because of the way it makes you feel. Keep it to yourself. Click, like, subscribe, comment on the guitar playing. Myself, as a fellow dude, does not want to read your inner lust poetry, okay? Just saying.
I think the core of it is like
clever. You're not that clever. You're not adding to the sexiness. If you think you can add to the sexiness, I don't know, maybe give it a shot, but you might get pummeled. You might get pummeled in the comments.
Right. The way I would think of it, I think I kind of think of it this way, is if it's a comment that if you sent it if you were at work and you sent it to the person and also CC'd the entire HR department at the same time and it would pass muster, then,
I think what Steve is challenging all the commenters out there to be is professional. Could we please be a little bit professional in the comment section of our guitar videos? Is all we're asking, a little bit of professionalism.
Now, if in the video, this is what we need. We need Ryan, and instead of asking for rude and nasty comments.
No idea where you're going with this.
So we have the guitar demo artist Ryan, and instead of asking for rude and nasty comments at the at the end of a video, she asks for lewd and sexy comments. Then I'm gonna say like maybe it's okay.
Lewd and sexy is the other side of the coin of rude and nasty.
Yeah, because in that case, she is literally asking.
It could still be
like literally. It's literal.
Steve, it could still be lewd and nasty.
It could be lewd and nasty. I just wanted to change the word.
Lewd and nasty is my favorite hip hop song of the 90s.
Is that sounds like it should be a real
Could be.
Look,
It could be the title of an album, Lewd and Nasty.
the reality of it is regardless of what's going on in the video, basically nobody like wants to hear you say out loud what turns you on.
Right. People already have those thoughts in their own head, and they keep them to themselves because they know other people don't want to hear them. I guarantee you, if you don't say those thoughts out loud or where people can read them, you will continue to exist. You will not die if you keep it to yourself.
Right.
You're not going to explode one day, and all those comments are just going to drip out of you like a gross, sticky liquid.
Right.
Yes. Is this number one?
Number one gets a little political, I think.
It does, and we're probably going to lose subscribers over this.
From a few angles.
Sorry, we're about to lose you. This is your last 60 cycle hum video.
The people who comment, because you get this a lot, especially with the Afford-a-board, with the Afford-a-guitars.
Almost everything, man. Almost everything is... And people don't realize that.
Ryan, why are you buying and promoting guitars from China?
From communist China.
They're
Don't
trying
you know
to
you're taking part in destroying the U.S. economy, Ryan, when you cover a pedal or a guitar manufactured anywhere but the USA. Anywhere but the USA. And you are supporting the destruction of our country. Thank you for those comments. What am I supposed to do?
My favorite one recently was the guy who posted that, or you said like, well, you probably posted this from a computer that was made in China, and they came back and said, well,
actually, I looked it up, and some parts were from Taiwan, and some parts were from blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
and listen, this percent came from China.
So, well, actually, I looked that up. That brand of computers only moved manufacturing out of China, which I guess was semi-effective. We'll say it's semi-effective.
Sure.
They moved manufacturing out of China because of the tariffs put in place by Donald Trump.
Right, so it's recent.
Made it too basically was like pricing them out. That combined with the general atmosphere of like, well, if we say that nothing from this computer is made in China, so they were having it made, like you said, Taiwan, Vietnam, I think Czech Republic.
I bet they're still having it assembled there. I bet almost every part on the circuit boards came from China.
Yeah, but it's like, they were like doing other stuff, but it was because of direct political pressure. It wasn't like out of the goodness of their hearts. And the entire previous 20, 30, that particular brand was like cooperating.
I bet when he bought
laptop manufacturing facility with another brand.
When he bought that laptop, it was made in China.
Maybe it was. Who knows?
But that's always my first question. What device did you write this comment on? You're complaining about a guitar, a pedal, an amp, or whatever. What device that you use every day did you write this comment on? Like,
and you know what it goes back to?
I know you want to protect your hobby, but look at the rest of your life. Look at the rest of our lives. How are we supposed to avoid any of this stuff? How are it's not possible.
Where was this pen made?
Even if it was made
China.
Even if it was made in the USA, the raw materials came from somewhere else. Yeah. Everything comes from somewhere else now. And here's another part. Because, when it's presented, I just assume that you're looking at China as this monolithic, homogeneous glob of some sort of international power, and it's just this one personality.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's a country full of people, full of individuals. If you don't have to love the government. Most of us don't love our own government, no matter where we live. And there's people all over the world that absolutely hate whatever government you live under. There are individual human beings manufacturing these things and making these things. And the people who are like, oh, it's all sweatshops, blah, blah, blah. They just busted a sweatshop at Hyundai in the South somewhere.
Clearly, I'm not following the news.
A U.S. factory just got busted for hiring 12-year-olds, having 12-year-olds work, and there were limb maimings going on. Like, we're rolling back.
What word did you just say?
Limb, like an arm.
Limb
like
maimings.
Like, there's.
I just hope it wasn't Kia, because I'm probably going to buy one of those.
No, it was Hyundai, I think.
Okay. Yeah,
our country's not great either. So yeah, be against the things that you don't like.
I want to back up, because one thing that you just said, I do think is something that I've never thought about when we do this, and every manufacturer is going to operate a little differently. You know, we can't. I genuinely kind of feel like brands like a brand like I don't know, some of the like Echo, maybe to some extent, like I'm trying to think. I don't know, like music. I don't even.
Where are you going, Steve?
I don't
Get
even
to
wanna,
a point.
I can't think of a brand to throw under the bus, because every time I think of a brand, I'm like, no, I've met someone from that brand.
Right.
To the point being that, like, all of these manufacturers are just doing a thing that the economy, the manufacturing setup of their country allows them to do. But at its core, like, they're all people who run these, and a lot of them are, not all of them, but a lot of them are musicians. Some of them aren't. Some of them are just people who go like, I think I know a guy who's got a guitar plan, and so I'm going to pay him for 5,000 units of guitar, and if the QC is bad, I won't know. But there's also lots of brands that many of which we've worked with, or you go to the Donner booth, for example, right, and you talk to some of the folks running the Donner booth, and, they genuinely care about trying to keep their costs low, but also improve their product as much as they can.
No, there are people just like us that care about guitar, and there's some who are just in the business for it, just like U.S. businesses, just like it. And there's plenty of people that they love guitar, they love music, they love working on musical instruments. They have passionate ideas about things. They operate on a different business model, so different sorts of things come out of their factories and stuff like that. Think about these people as people, because they are people. They just live somewhere else. And if you don't like their country or don't like their government, fine. But separate it a little bit is all I'm saying.
I guess everything has to be broken. You've got to find ways to... Everyone's got to draw their line. For us, the China thing to me also ties back into, this is a job. Like, we get the offers, and some of them, you can turn down because the company's sketchy, but generally it's on a case-by-case basis.
I just want to try everything.
The thing that
I legitimately want to try, like, all the gear, and so it's easy for me to just be like, yeah, I want to try that. Yeah, I want to try that.
The thing that you don't hear about for, like, American companies is, I think a lot of the people, like, you never see people go like, well, I won't buy from this brand because they're headquartered in this state, and this state happens to be in support of political item X that I disagree with. So if I buy from that company, they're going to pay taxes to that state. That's going to support that thing.
I don't want to support Florida. I bet there's plenty of people out there that don't buy things that are made in California. I don't want to support California because blah, blah, blah. I heard on Fox that California, they did this, and it's worse. It's terrible for all of us now. Thank you. Thanks a lot, California. Like, there are people like that, but that's pretty extreme.
But
there's a lot more people that are like, oh, I don't want anything from China. Like, it's not that different from being like, I don't want anything made in Cleveland. Like,
I mean,
whatever.
Do you want anything made in Cleveland?
Yeah, I'd love to have something made in Cleveland. Okay. You think I'm going to crap on Cleveland in this program, Steve? I've got nothing bad to say about Cleveland.
All right, we got one more. This is the honorable mention.
It's not like they're Toronto or something.
Oh my gosh. This is the honorable mention. This is an honorable mention because sometimes it's a positive comment and sometimes it's a negative comment.
That was a callback to people think I hate Canada.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, this is a score. This is a score multiplier.
This one is Ryan, you're my favorite guitar channel.
Thanks.
You got a caps lock button. You got it. Like, you can turn it off. It's okay. It's okay.
We can everyone in the back can hear you. All right, we've done it.
If you're going to leave a comment on this video, I want every single comment on this video to be in all caps.
No, you know that this is us asking for it. We're just going to get parodies of this type of comment.
I hope so.
Of all these comments forever now. And you know what? It's going to be good because it'll clear them all out. It'll make it all seem like noise. We're like, is this a joke? I don't know. Ha! We'll just be able to reply to everything like, ha ha ha.
I want every comment on this video to be like, oh, this podcast is so smart. And the guys are so beautiful.
They are handsome and wonderful to listen to and to view with my eyes.
Oh my gosh.
I appreciate this program.
How are we only at housekeeping?
We're 35 minutes in, Steve. Is this going to be another hour and a half episode?
Oh, I hope not. I'm tired.
Housekeeping. Let's do it.
All right. We're going to do this real quick. Housekeeping is part of the show where if you want to support this nonsense, you can for as little as $1 a month over on patreon.com/60cyclehumcast. Like these, fine. Oh, we don't have any new ones, so I'm not going to read anything off. But at the end of the show, there will be a rolling list of end credits, and it's going to have a bunch of people who have been supporting again for as little as $1 a month. We might be making some tweaks to the Patreon soon. We might not. I don't know. We need to talk about it more.
Yeah. I just want to put it out there that there are some people out there who will say $1 a month is not enough. Well, you can give 2, or you could give 3. You can actually put in whatever number that you want. We're here for you.
I don't want the biggest number.
We're here for you. If it's just not enough for you, we will support your decision.
Also, I think if you do like you can subscribe for an entire year, or you can support for an entire year at a time.
Yeah.
And I think you get like an 8% discount or something.
That's 8% that you could use for the next year.
Yeah.
That's your 8th. What is that? Your 8th year is free? I don't know the math on that.
Well, I mean, basically, it's like if you sign up at the $5 level, instead of being $60, it's like 55 and change.
You don't want to lose money on this. All right. Should we do a sponsorship or should we get into an ad?
Let's do a sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Vibes.
Let's crack it open. Vibes has sponsored us before. I actually just used their headphones a week or two ago. I went to a concert and it was going to be at the Casbah, and I know how the Casbah likes to run their mix. I'm like, I have got to bring my earplugs with me.
Good
and
vibes.
Then, like, lo and behold, like, I think 2 days later, Vibes emailed and was like, can we sponsor you again? So they're going to do 4 weeks of sponsorship. And you know what? Earplugs are easy for us to promote because you dummies, you're going to shows, you're playing with your band, you should be wearing earplugs no matter what, some form of hearing protection. Please, if it's not Vibes, then some other form of hearing protection. But yeah, like I said, I used my Vibes the other day. I went to go see the Bombadoras, and I went and saw Boss Martians.
Gosh. These are so small.
I use the smallest size. Because
I'm just saying the overall size of this thing is so small. It's quite small.
So crack my open here. But yeah, they're totally fine and comfortable for me. I've got little ear canals and they fit in my ears just fine. I was able to make it through a whole show without whining and crying about my precious sensitive ears. And I didn't have ringing ears in the morning. And, I'm getting older. I'm not a teen anymore. I'm not under the delusion that my ears are going to keep getting better after ringing that persists for a day or two after a loud show. I can't put up with that. I've got things to do. I don't want tinnitus. I don't have it yet. I'd like to get to the end of this, rat race without tinnitus.
One of the things with these is these are going to be a tuned earplug, so they're better than your foam earplugs. Remember when we first were in a band together and we were using foam earplugs and you could just not hear anything?
You can't hear anything.
It just all sounds like mud.
Yeah.
These are gonna, they have an attenuation curve to them, so they're gonna be a little bit better, a lot better.
Actually. And you know what, Steve?
What, Ryan?
These particular earplugs have a coupon code for 15% off. I think
15?
The coupon code
15% off.
60 cycle at checkout.
Yeah, head to discovervibes.com. When you use that, these are gonna come out to just under $25, which is pretty good. Also, if you got maybe you already own some, get some for someone you love.
Also, like,
Get some for someone you don't want to go deaf.
It doesn't have to be for music uses. Another thing that I was doing with my vibes before they even emailed us recently is I've been digging these post holes down in the canyon to like prop up a wall. And I got a little jackhammer. I bought a jackhammer for it, and it said on the box like, "Oh, must wear hearing protection." I was like, "Oh, all right,
you must."
And so I jammed in the vibes, and I did my jackhammering for like 3 hours, and my back was sore, but my ears were fine. So yeah, you don't have to just use them for music. You can use them for other stuff.
I like this carrying case. A lot of times I'll take the carrying case and I just throw these in my car because I never know when I'm gonna.
I actually use
going to a show.
I've been using my carrying cases for like my diabetes medicine because they're like, you look at these, it's more slick and like more pocket friendly than like those round metal like pill tube things. It's more comfortable in my pocket.
All right. Last thing is vibes are tested by lots of people, hundreds, if not thousands.
Right.
Probably Let's see what they say. Hundreds of thousands.
Every single pair gets put in hundreds of thousands of ears before they ship it to you.
That's not what it means. But seriously,
they're warmed up for you.
Head on over to discovervibes.com.
That's right.
Use code 60cycle to get 15% off.
Our next sponsor is Bigger Pedals.
I guess it is now.
I just changed Steve's notebook here. We had a wonderful FaceTime conversation with Grant and Karen over there at Big Ear, and we got to see over video before this very episode Grant turning on the soldering iron in their new house, in their building space. For the first time, he's building pedals tonight. It's happening, folks. It's happening. He showed me their wall of Post-it notes of pedals that they have to build and like emails they have to reply to and stuff. It's happening. They're coming back. We told you last week, they want to be making pedals.
Yeah.
And here they are making pedals.
Head on over to bigearpedals.com.
Now do you believe we're psychic?
Get on the mailing list. Follow them on Instagram. Do all that cool stuff.
Yeah, the cool stuff.
All right, let's do this ad.
All right.
You ready to do an ad?
Yeah. This one was sent by Paul Weller. You think he's related to RoboCop?
I hope so.
Yeah. This is Trade for Mandolin. LTD Aero 200 guitar, trade for mandolin, $200. Aero plays great, and despite the stickers, in very good shape. But Floyd is blocked and missing locking nuts. No case. Trades I am looking to trade for, preferably mandolin. 7 or 8 string guitars, guitar amps. I'd consider some bass guitars. Cash price is $200 firm. I can meet in Harrison, Ohio, Monday through Thursday. Okay, I don't need to read that whole part. All right. I just think this is a hilarious guitar to trade for a mandolin. Like, what is this seller gonna look like when you meet up with them? Now I'm coughing.
No, because even that's like a mandolin or 7 or 8 string guitars.
No, he wants. Oh yeah, I guess so. But the fact that he's leading with a mandolin, it's like, is this person having a major change in their life?
I think they're starting like a technical, like a bluegrass metal band.
Instead of black metal, it's blue metal.
Yes.
They're starting a blue metal band. Blue metal grass.
I'm looking at all these stickers, and the only sticker where I can like actually read it is there's a Kiss Army sticker.
What if, Steve, what if we're just super out of touch with the mandolins scene, and all these stickers are for mandolin bands? And like mandolin has become like the most hardcore thing you could imagine. Sewer, totally a mandolin band.
I feel like I could totally see, I can picture in my mind's eye,
Pit Viper. Like, that's one of my favorite mandolin bands.
If it was like Southern metal, like like metal that's influenced by Southern rock, I could see there being a mandolin in there.
I'm a big fan of Scab Hag because they not only do they have mandolin, they have the stand-up wash drum bass. Scab Hag.
Is that on here?
Yeah. It's the purple one. on the front.
Oh,
He's got a couple stickers.
Hit Viper
for life after death. I think that's clearly, the answer is that these are all.
It is. Oh, and did you
bands.
look at the blocking of? It looks like it's just like.
What is that?
It looks like a stack of stickers. I don't know what it is.
They blocked the trim with some sort of mystery material.
I have no idea what that is.
I think a legit favorite part of this ad is that he's giving you a photo to show you how much life is left on the tread of this guitar. Yeah. He's showing the end point of one of the points, because these style guitars, when they get used even a few hours, like that sharpest point just gets knocked off immediately. Like you see like the Randy Rhoads guitars by Jackson and stuff. The tip is always the first thing to go. This, even despite being covered in stickers and being played in some hardcore thrashy bluegrass bands, the tip is still intact. There is still plenty of life left in this guitar, and it's only $200. So if you've got a mandolin, make that trade, I guess. You're giving a metal boy a chance to come to the bluegrass life, and you, in your bluegrass life, you have the opportunity to venture out into the more aggressive, darker side of music. I think everyone involved in this transaction is going to come out better on the other side. You're all going to come out with a more versatile and varied view of the world. So yeah, I support this trade. What about you, Steve? Do you support this trade, or are you
make the trade?
Make the trade.
Can you get a mandolin for under $200, or like 200? That's like worth trade value $200.
Mando Core is the fastest growing.
Mando Core. That's what you should. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I'm really into Mando Core. It's a very shreddy instrument. People who play mandolin play it.
Oh
fast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You want a fast, small neck? It doesn't get faster or smaller than a mandolin, baby.
Yep.
That's what what's his name?
Chris Tilly.
I don't know who that is.
Who were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that's what your Tim Hensons are gonna be after next.
Oh my God.
They're gonna be shredding on gent mandolins.
I mean, mandolins are just 8-string violins, right? Basically.
Is that what it is?
I think it's the same tuning.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
they're fretted.
Mandolins
are fretted.
Mandolins are fretted, but mandolins are supposed to be the same tuning as guitar, just upside down, is what I always understood.
If you say so.
I don't know for sure. That's just a tall tale that someone told me one time. All right.
Quite the tale.
Yeah. Make the trade is what we say, though, officially. What's next, Steve? Another sponsor?
Speaking of tale, Ryan, what's new?
Oh, what's news? I decided to officially end the Afford-a-Strat series.
Oh.
Because I've been looking around at a lot of guitars. I'm like, I don't want to keep everything forever. And I don't know if I'm going to do another Afford-a-Strat. Let's just call it done. I think the concept has been done and well documented. I don't need to cover every affordable Strat that exists in that way.
So what's the next one? Afford-a-Telly?
I don't know. We'll see. I kind of wanted to do Afford-a-Offset eventually, but I'm thinking like 3 in a series is enough and then just move on. But our friend Aaron Abubo over at the Gearson podcast made a post on social media like, I'm thinking about getting another Strat. And I was like, here, you can have the Afford-a-Strat. So I gave it to him. I gave him the Afford-a-Strat. There's no ceremony. There was no paperwork signed. There was no contest. It was just like, I want to give a guitar to a friend. So that's what I did. He drove down here and got it.
Very cool.
So if you want to keep up on the adventures of the Afford-a-Strat, then go subscribe to the Gearson podcast, where sometimes they do end up talking about guitar, but usually only when they're playing one of Phil's games. Most of the time it's about...
I want to play one of Phil's games.
I know. It's such a good game.
I know.
I'm still jealous of that game. I wish we had thought of it, because it's a good game.
I got some mail I tried to send out and it got returned to us. So if you are Stephen Cornelius, Mr. Melody TM, M. Murta, or Gregory Taylor,
send us your current address.
Send us your current address.
Yes, so that we can take care of business with you. It's a random thing to throw into the middle of a podcast.
Well, it's what's new. That's what's new for me, because I got a slow life, I guess.
All right. Should we keep moving and do another ad?
Yeah, let's do another ad. This is for the Tone Bakery
Also
Reverb.
sent by Paul Weller. It's a double Paulisode. So I thought this was interesting. He posted it in the group. Like, what do you guys think about this?
There's no description here.
Oh, I put the wrong screen grab in here.
How dare you?
Did it end up in one of the other things?
I have no idea.
Oh, it didn't. I don't know where that description ended up, but I'll try to remember what's going on here.
Let's see if I can find it on Reverb.
It's a current listing. So it appears to be, it says Tone Bakery 1963 tube reverb black with Accutronics tank. It spends a lot of time telling you that it uses the correct tank for a reverb unit, and it tells you the 3 tubes. And the thing I remember is that it uses a 6K6 instead of a 6V6,
yes,
which is a common mod for Fender reverb units. As far as if this is a good buy or not, I mean, it's certainly a lot cheaper than a Fender outboard reverb unit at $340. The important part that isn't mentioned is if it uses the Fender 6G15 circuit design.
Right.
Because it's not just tubes, it's not just the reverb pan. That is an incredibly important part of the recipe. Just because you make a tube unit with a reverb pan in it doesn't mean it's going to sound like a Fender outboard reverb unit. It probably still sounds great. There was a video for it. The video did not sound great. It had really bad like clipping on the audio, and the player did not play towards a surf style, so you couldn't even tell if it dripped or not. They were, doing.
But you think that's the problem of the
player?
The player.
Yeah, the player wasn't playing it towards a surfy sound, so we don't know if this is drippy, and we don't know if it's doing that Fender reverb unit sort of style thing. I actually bought an outboard reverb unit like a decade ago or something like that. I got a decent deal on it, kind of like this. It was like $300 or something like that. And I hadn't owned a Fender unit before. And I was like, man, this sounds good. It's a tube reverb unit, but it's still not doing the drip thing that I was chasing. And I found out later it just totally had a completely different circuit design than the Fender units. What was it? An NAU now?
Oh, the NAU, yeah.
Yeah. It was some sort of boutique built thing. It was a tube reverb unit, but it was not a surfy, drippy tube reverb unit. So you could certainly buy this, but there's no guarantee that it's, if you're looking for that thing, which you might be because you're on our group, I don't know if I can recommend it. But at that price, I mean, you're going to get something that functions probably.
This text is the exact same text I found at jrrshop.com. I did find on YouTube a video that says Tone Bakery Cream Verb 6G15.
Well, there you go.
Is that the one that you watched?
No. Is that someone playing it? Does it drip?
I don't know. You want to listen to the...
No, not the whole thing, but... Okay. Don't worry about it.
I think that's the same one.
All right. Well, if you do more research and find videos of it dripping, then that answers your question. If it's based on the 6G15, then $340 is a pretty dang great deal in my opinion.
It's actually reviewed on Surf Guitar 101.
An excellent resource for this sort of thing.
And there's a lot of discussion. So apparently Tone Bakery is like a Chinese brand.
Well, we know what we think about that.
And so it talks about different things. But I think people, there's a lot of discussion of it. It looks like it's made in one of these contract factories, which makes sense. But I'm going through and people just want to talk about what it looks like. No one seems to have any idea.
I just gave them a compliment and said it was a good source of information.
Well, I only went through the first page. Oh, is this what the Tone Bakery Cream Verb is? Because I couldn't figure out why they would be so cheap. Let's see.
We don't have all day for this.
I know.
Give yourself a note to put the link in the description. Do your own research is what I'm going to say. If you decide that it's worth the risk, then for $340, I don't know how
much is a Fender tank? How How much is a?
I haven't checked the prices, but I've heard that they've crossed $1,000. I paid $400.
So
for
like
mine.
whatever this is, $340, $350 is a pretty good price.
But honestly, get a Surfy Bear. You don't need the whole tube unit. The Surfy Bears sound better sometimes. Oftentimes they sound better than the tube units. It's not, the tubes aren't the magic. The circuit and the spring pan are the magic.
Right.
The tubes can be replaced by bifets and sound amazing, and that's what Surfy Bear is. So that's kind of my official recommendation. The unit, I keep mine because why wouldn't I? Mm-hmm. But the outboard units are such a hassle, such a pain in the butt to move around.
Ryan,
Yeah.
this episode is brought to you by Stringjoy.
Oh, good.
Stringjoy. These strings are crafted in Nashville, Tennessee, but they're played on stages worldwide. They're now featured in Sweetwater, so you can either click the link below and buy direct from Stringjoy. Mm-hmm. We get a little bit of a clicky.
It is an affiliate link.
Click back on that, or you can click our link over to Sweetwater, and here's what I recommend you do. You do a little 2-for-1. Head on over to stringjoy.com. Figure out what you want. If you want one of their like standard string sets, you don't want custom, because you can get your own custom string set. Get any sizes you want. What you can do is get that. Oh, the thing I was about to segue doesn't work anymore because Chaseless Audio is now direct to consumer.
Oh, you were going to say people could shop on Sweetwater?
I was going to say buy a Chase Bliss pedal and some Stringjoy strings all at Sweetwater. But you can't.
I'm not sure Sweetwater was ever a Chase Bliss dealer.
Oh, I don't know.
Go look at some Stringjoy strings.
Go to Stringjoy.
Go to the custom string builder. Our next sponsor is Chase Bliss Audio. I decided to pull this guy out. Look at that. I'm gonna have to put the logo somewhere else. The sliders move, Steve.
Ooh.
Yeah, look at that. You know you want.
I know this.
You want to check that out, right?
I want the reverb.
And you know what? It changes the sound as it goes. You can assign those sliders to an expression pedal and watch them move various directions with use of the expression pedal. It's just gather the family around and watch a demo of this thing and then buy one for Christmas. Your children will never be more delighted than when you open this up Christmas morning.
It's fun for the whole family.
You open it up Christmas morning, it's underneath the tree, and you're like, this is going to be on our tree every year because it's so festive and it's so wonderful. You're going to put it on the top of the tree every year, and hook it up to MIDI control, so it's just constantly doing the slider and light show. You know you want to do that. So huge thanks to Chase Bliss Audio for once again sponsoring this, whatever this is, like this thing that we've been doing for 9 years.
Something like that. All right, this last ad was sent by a guy.
Which guy?
It was sent by Michael Kraus. All it says is free. All the toolboxes. It's in Haverhill, Massachusetts. And Michael Kraus wants to know if any of these are pedal boards. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking I see a lot of potential pedal boards here.
Let me count the pedal boards. Pedal board. They're all pedal boards. These are all pedal boards waiting to happen.
This real thick Makita, I don't know if that's a pedal board.
Some of these are going to have the big molded thing inside this just for the shape of the tool.
Yeah.
But most of these case things here, dump out whatever's in there. You got yourself dozens of pedal boards here. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? So you go into business with this. You could start a pedal board company.
I wish this was near me because I could use some pedal boards.
I probably have a pedal board you could have, Steve.
I'm sure you do. I need to populate my existing pedal boards and then what? See, here's the problem, right? You guys have this problem. I have this problem.
Tell us about your problem, Steve. I'm sure we could all relate to it. I'm sure there's a product that could solve the problem.
Some pedals you want to put on pedal boards. But also, you got a room. You want to decorate. So
of course, Steve.
You can't put all of your pedals on pedal boards because then what are you going to put on your pedal shelf?
When I put all my pedals on my pedal board, most of them fall off.
Yeah, because there's not enough room. You need more pedal boards.
I need more pedal boards.
That's where this ad comes in. Look at all these pedal boards.
Look at all these pedal boards. You could have them in your home. They're beautiful.
Ryan, we didn't get the thing for me to play music.
Oh.
Pedal boards. Pedal board, pedal board, pedal board, pedal board. Blah, blah, pedal board.
Remember the good old days when everyone's pedal board was in a suitcase that they got from the Goodwill?
I tried to do that once and the suitcase fell apart. Apparently it was not a good suitcase. Also, I had just slapped a pedal board onto, I cut out some pegboard and then I put all my pedals on it and then I zip tied them into place. That also did not work great.
Well-made pedal boards are honestly a really great modern convenience, because the homemade pedal boards that we used to put together were pretty rickety. We've come a long ways, guys.
This song was sent by Matthew Edwards. He says, tunage for podcast. Greetings, Ryan and Steve, longtime subscriber, recent Patreon supporter. My day job is driving and delivering boxes, and your pods help me get through my day. I have an addiction to Squires.
As far as I'm concerned,
and pedals.
People, as far as this show is concerned, and what we do around here, the people who drive around delivering boxes are damn heroes. Like, you deserve all of our respect and recognition. You are the ones making this all happen. You are the backbone of our new guitar days, of our new pedal days, of our new amp days.
It's true.
You make it all happen, and God bless you for it.
My
Feel
band,
patriotic.
Daredevil Pilots, recording an EP. They sent us shirts too. I have that shirt. Maybe they only sent us one shirt.
We need a holiday for delivery drivers. A National Delivery Driver Day.
Like where nothing gets delivered?
Nothing gets delivered. They take it off, and we deliver something to them, and it's thanks and recognition and respect. I think we should have a National Delivery Driver Day where you have to give a gift to a delivery driver. You give something to them for once.
So here's some details on the song. It's recorded using a mix of guitars. The rhythm tracks were a Squier Vintage Modified 72, a 2006 Vintage Modified Jazzmaster, a Classic Vibe Jag, and a Classic Vibe 60 Strat through a 93 PV Classic 410.
Nice.
The leads are recorded with an SG, a Gibson SG, a Flying V, a 1971 Gibson 335, and a 1969 Fender Stratocaster that has been owned by their singer since the original purchase. Lead tracks were amped with the Marshall Origin 50 and a Vox 70 2x12 and an 80s Fender Sidekick 35. That's an interesting combination. Used pedals from the personal collection, as well as some gems from the studio, like the Blackstar HT Dual Tube, EQD Plumes, Coco, Tube Screamer, Clone, Russian Big Muff, Way Huge Swollen Pickle. Lots and lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff here. PV Classic 30s on this list. The long guitar was a 60s Fender P-Bass with a jazz bass neck and a bass humbucker installed in the bridge through a vintage Bogan amp that had some kind of conversion that made an incredible bass amp. The Ampeg 410 cab ran out the bass rig along with the DI and various bass overdubs. I bought a radio to convert into a guitar amp once. I couldn't figure it out. I realized I am not smart at building amps. Maybe it's a skill I can figure out sometime, but it's the whole like converting. It actually sounded really cool as a like I plugged guitar into it and it sounded like a really cool.
Are we ever going to hear this song?
Yeah, eventually. But the problem,
like, when is the song going to start?
But the problem, well, do you remember when that was a trend, like turning radios into guitar amps? Yeah. But you got to like do some stuff, otherwise they are real noisy.
Yeah, you can hear the baseball game.
Thanks for a great podcast and for giving artists a place to share / hear their hard work. Matt Edwards, Daredevil Pilots. We're gonna play the song.
You know, like playing the songs at the end is something that doesn't profit us in any way, and it's just our way of acknowledging this is a music podcast and musicians listen to it, and we want to hear what you're making. And I this is the first time I thought like, oh yeah, it gives a lot of people somewhere official to publish their thing and get some ears on it, you know?
We're going to play the first song on this new
If your band is
EP.
launching an EP or an album or something like that, why wouldn't you send it to us? We're going to play it for free.
Ryan, am I ever going to get to play this song? It's called Sword and Sheath.
Can you feel
That sounded massive. Good
Yeah,
work.
I like that. That was cool.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Stay grounded.